Hello, this is Gihan Pereira here. I'm here in the car park outside the beautiful Fraser's restaurant in Perth. I've just spoken at an event for the building and construction industry. I just want to share one story that I got from one of the attendees at the event. Because I was talking about the idea that now in business, especially if you're in an established business, there may be things that you're doing that might not be the best practice anymore. And the longer you've been in business, the more that's a potential risk or threat for you. So the things that you might be using may not be the best in the world, and that there might be some smart startup that comes along and disrupts your business because they compete against you using better technology, better systems, better processes, and so on. And one of the attendees came up to me afterwards and he told me the story about in his business when they were sending out quotes, it used to take him about an hour and a half to write up a quote. And luckily, he asked his son, who also happens to work in the business with him, whether they could simplify the process of doing quotes, because it used to take them a long time and he was spending most of his day writing up quotes. And his son said, look, there must be an app for that. And so they looked it up and they found an app which is called Quotient, and they use that app now to do what used to take them an hour and a half in 5 minutes. And it not just does the same as what they used to do, but it does much better. So they can look at what they want to quote for. They can insert downloads to brochures. You can give the client options, and the client gets that. They just tick which options they want, and they then make an appointment to meet with them. So it's a really good example of something that they were using, which they thought was the only way it could be done, and they suddenly found a better way to do it simply because they asked themselves the question, is there a better way of doing it? And I recommend that you ask yourself that same question. In fact, the way I suggest you do it is to say, if we were starting from scratch, would we be doing it exactly the way that we're doing now? And more often than not, you might find that the answer would be no. Now, you may not know how to do it better, but at least you're asking the question and thinking that there must be a better way, and that will get you started on the search. It's a really good way to make sure that you don't get caught up in the fallacy of sunk costs. In other words, the effort, the time, the energy, the training that you've put into something that you've already got, even though it might not be the best in the world. I hope that's useful, and I hope that helps you become more fit for the future.